We'll start in headstand, so everyone just come over and something easy to start with. So beginning in mountain pose. Beginning our practice here. You might even start with a few deep breaths. Breathing in fully through your nose and exhale completely through your mouth. You might do that again. Nice full breath in, filling yourself up. And a nice exhale. And maybe just a quick check-in with your body. Notice how you feel. And add any movement here that might feel good. A little rolling of the shoulders, gentle stretch through the neck. Just work your way down your body. Check in with your hips, your knees, even your feet. And as you continue to breathe in and out, you can continue this gentle flow and movement of the body as you check in with your senses, or just come to stillness. Eyes can remain opened if you'd like, gazing forward or downward, or close your eyes, gazing inward. As you breathe in, just feel your breath rising upward, filling up your lungs, just bringing more awareness to the breath as it moves through you. And as you exhale, as you're able, draw your navel inward towards your spine, that light contraction of your abdominal muscles. We know this, of course, is our abdominal lock. Again, a breath in, feeling the breath rising, filling up your lungs. Even feel the lengthening of your spine, standing up a little taller. Exhale, engaging the abdominal lock. And a reminder that breath is the foundation of our practice. It will guide you through our practice. And as we prepare our bodies to move, take 3 more breaths. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Just reach all the way up, a nice big stretch, yes. And exhale, we'll fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to as you make your way downward towards your toes. And inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees and extend your spine. Feel like you're coming forward. And exhale, melt your way back down to a forward fold. Now this can be a partial fold, where your hands might be just resting at your shins, or you might bend your knees a bit more so you can touch your toes or the ground. Whatever feels right here, you can just hold, breathe, or continue to add movement. The rolling of the shoulders, a big circle of your arms. Nod yes, shake your head no. Just releasing any tension or tightness that might be settled into the body. And perhaps with breath flow and movement of the body will help release some of that tension. Good, yes. Our practice will involve some twisting poses. So if there is something you need to release, perhaps the twisting practice will help with that. Let's do another halfway lift. And inhale, slide your hands up to your shins, your knees, extending your spine. Hold here in the exhale, so a half forward fold for a moment. Just holding the length of the spine, engage legs and core. Those happen automatically. Now shifting your weight into your heels, bend your knees and spread your wings so you can inhale and grow all the way up, reaching into the sky. And exhale, hands down to your heart or arms down to your side, finishing that sequence. Just pause, take a breath. Just go through that same sequence again. Whenever you're ready, go at your own pace. Inhale, reaching into the air. Good energy through your fingertips. Exhale, leading with your heart. Fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And inhale, rise up halfway. Again, feel the crown of your head lead you forward. This exhale will melt back down for the natural curve of the spine, releasing head, neck, and shoulders. Your weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive and come all the way back up. Reach a little higher as you're able. And exhale, hands to your heart or arms to your side. Another pause. Keep this connection. Continuing with our sun salute. Inhale, reaching into the air. There it is. Good. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, rise up halfway, monkey pose, or that half forward fold. Exhale all the way down. Bend your knees so you can place your hands on your mat. So you can walk, step, or hop both feet back so you'll be in plank pose, your high push-up position. Breathe in. And the exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air, our shortcut to downward facing dog. Make any adjustments with your feet or your hands on your mat. Again, you can just find stillness or add movement here, perhaps pedaling the feet. A little stretch for your calves and toes. Let your knees bend. Your hips might even move side to side. Another part of our practice today will be Pigeon Pose, which is a great hip opener. So we'll combine some of those postures, Pigeon Pose and some twists today. Just take one more full breath in and out right here. Perhaps with the exhale, bend your knees, walk, step, or hop both feet, return to the top of your mat. Once you're here, inhale, extend through the spine. Exhale, refold. Then your weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Then inhale, reverse your swan dive. Grow tall, reaching up. Let's keep it moving. On the exhale, take chair pose, Utkatasana, or a chair-like position. Imagining you're sitting back and down into a seat. It could be a high seat or it could be a low seat. Let's breathe in. And the exhale, diving out of your chair, down to your toes, forward fold. Inhale, fully extended spine, halfway lift. Exhale, let's go all the way back down to the ground. Plant your hands. And walk, step, or hop both feet back into plank pose. Once again, our high push-up position. Feel free to take that same shortcut to down dog or finish that sequence by bending your elbows, lowering your way down to Chaturanga Dandasana. There you go. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose for a back bend. And exhale into downward facing dog. Feeling your hips just float up into the air. Again, just stepping into place, adjusting your hands and feet, settling into the posture for a second. And then inhale, extend your right leg up behind you, reaching back. Exhale, a step through, right foot to the top of the mat. Yes, take your time with this. As you make this transition, left heel turns to the floor behind you. Put some good weight in that back foot so there's less weight in your hands so you can easily hinge from hips, rising up. And with an exhale, we'll fold, make our way back down to the ground. Plant your hands, slide the right foot back to meet the other. Finish the sequence as you like, the shortcut, or as you move into Chaturanga, maybe bringing the knees to the floor first, then your chest. A low cobra or locust pose is appropriate for your back bend. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Settling into the posture, making your adjustments, even just taking a breath. Then inhale, extend left leg up, reaching back for the wall, and exhale, stepping to the top of the mat, or even grabbing the foot and placing it there. Right heel turns to the floor, finding your center. Inhale, rising up, first warrior. And exhale, hinge and fold, right back down we go. Strong connection to the ground with the hands. Pull the left foot back. And finishing your sequence as you like. We'll just meet together in downward facing dog. Knowing that you can take any kind of variation of movement to guide you into your down dog. Taking a breath once you've arrived. Let's make our way down to the earth. Just bend your knees and kneel down. Let's sit back briefly in hero. Then off to the side so we can take a seat on the mat. Sit in the center of your mat. And roll down onto your back. Just draw the knees into chest. If it feels good, just add some movement here. I know for me, because I tend to have tight hips and a tight low back, just some movement here like a massage just helps with some of that tension. We are going to move into bridge pose, but first, we'll set the feet down. Before we move into the back bend, let's do a hip opener here. So with feet on the floor, knees bent, let's pick up the right foot. Let's cross right ankle over left thigh. Even flex the right foot so that leg is engaged. We're going to eye of the needle pose. You're going to pick up the left foot, drawing the legs towards yourself. Your right hand becomes the thread going through the eye here. Then you'll hold on to your left shin with both hands or left hamstring and just draw the legs in towards self. But here you kind of get to decide how much sensation you want to create. The closer the legs towards the chest, more sensation. If you loosen it up, less sensation. Just a couple breaths here, just to introduce a bit of hip opening in our practice. Let's go ahead and set the left foot down. We'll uncross the legs. Just pause for a moment. Take a breath. We do eye of the needle on the other side. Sometimes we call this reclining pigeon. So let's cross left ankle over right thigh. Flex the left foot again, just keeping that leg active. Picking up the right foot so you can draw the legs towards yourself. The left arm becomes the thread going through the eye of the needle there. Let's hold on to right shin or the right hamstrings. And again, some breath to help guide yourself a little deeper into the sensation if that feels good. Just finding that spot that just allows for any tightness to release. And again, we're not going to be here too long. Again, just an introduction to hip opening. We'll be doing some more pigeon poses. Let's go ahead and release, set the foot onto the floor, uncross the legs, both feet planted into the ground. Now preparing for our bridge, so breathe in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty the belly. Core engagement, so you can lift your hips up into the air. Adjust your feet if you need to. You might even get your arms and shoulders underneath you if you're able. That might require some rocking of the upper body left and right, so you can get your shoulders a bit underneath you. And for more stability for the upper part of the body, perhaps bend your arms at 90 degrees. Press down into the mat with the triceps and elbows and the backs of your shoulders. Even use your hands to help lift yourself up or hold yourself up. Next 3 breaths, just take deep breaths, filling up your whole front side of the body that's now in this back bend or heart opener. Even breathing right up to the upper portions of the lungs. When you're complete with those 3 breaths, just wiggle the feet forward a little bit, extend your arms up into the air, just making space so you can safely come out of the pose, return to the earth. And once you're down, extend your legs out front, reach your arms behind you. This nice active stretch in opposite directions. Then go ahead and draw both knees into chest when you're ready, rocking forward and back, creating some momentum to rock yourself up to seated, or roll to one side and press yourself up to seated. So you can come to boat pose here. So perhaps lifting the feet. You can also do boat with feet on the floor if you ever wanted to. You can hold on to the legs. I like to at first to help extend the spine. Exhaling, of course, to engage the core system, helping to stabilize the body. Yeah. You can free up the hands, but you can always hold on. You can even straighten the legs if you'd like. Moving from here, breathing in first. Then exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side. So you can get the feet back behind you to plank pose. Let's all take a shortcut to downward facing dog. Just send the hips into the air. Let's continue. So an inhale to extend right leg up. Hold there for a moment and just feel the body get a little longer. And then we'll open the hips. So bend your right knee, bring your heel down towards your backside. Perfect. A little lift of the knee towards the ceiling. Doesn't have to lift high, just the sensation of lifting so you feel the hip opening. Breathe in right where you are. Exhale, unwind, step through. Right foot to the top of the mat, taking your time with that transition. Left heel to the floor. Find your center. Less weight in the hands so you can hinge your way up. Yes, inhale, rising up. And exhale, opening to your warrior two. Opening up to the left side of the room. Making some adjustments with the feet. Yes. So you have a solid foundation. There it is. Sometimes a little bit more distance between the feet helps with that balance. Sometimes if the feet are too close, it'll feel like you're on a surfboard. You won't feel as stable. Okay. Following the right arm forward into a side angle pose. So angling the upper half of the body. Rotate the arms there. You've got it. Right hand reaching downward. Left hand reaching into the air initially. Now if your feet are far apart, or wide enough, you might be able to reach all the way down to touch the ground, but of course you don't have to. Stay here, but bring your left hand down behind you to your low back, and kind of loose enough where you've got some mobility in the arm and shoulder, so you can kind of roll the left shoulder back maybe a couple times, just doing some circles with that left shoulder, and maybe on the third time just hold it back and just experience the chest expanding, yes, opening up a little bit more there. So just creating this mild bind in the body. Let's re-extend the left hand up into the air with an inhale. Exhale, we'll turn and fold, hands to the floor, sliding the right foot back into plank pose. Hold for a second to realign the body, and then a shortcut again to downward facing dog. Getting set up for the other side. Still moving at your own pace. Inhale, extend left leg up, reaching back. Hold there for a second. Get longer as you're able. Then open the hip with a bend of the knee and a slight lift of the knee, or the sensation of lifting. Opening up. Good. Nice strong hands rooted into the earth. Breathe in right where you are. Exhale to unwind, stepping through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Good control. Right heel turns to the floor. Find your center. Hinge your way up. Inhale, first warrior. Exhale, opening to the right side of the room. There it is. Yes, good adjustment. Yeah, wide stance there. Solid foundation. Good. Again, the greater the distance with the feet here, you might be able to go a little lower in the side angle, which we're moving into now. So reaching forward, angled upper body, rotate the arms, reaching high and low. Of course, you can stay up high in the posture. Or maybe you have the space to go a little lower. Breathing. Let's take our binding position just by bringing the right hand down behind you to your low back, okay? Or even your right hip, just so you have some mobility still in that right arm and shoulder, and maybe a couple circles with that right shoulder. Eventually just holding it back, feeling the heart opening. Even a little bit more extension through the torso. Okay? Feel that you're coming forward, being led by the crown of your head towards the front of the room. Now an inhale to re-extend your right hand up into the air. Exhale, we'll turn, we'll fold. Hands to the ground, solid connection. Slide left foot back, plank pose. Again, the shortcut to down dog is appropriate, or finish that whole vinyasa by finishing the vinyasa. Chaturanga, up dog, and downward facing dog, or some variation of movement to get you back into downward facing. Take a breath in, and exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat to your forward fold. Inhale, extend through your spine, long tabletop position. Melt your way back down, complete release. Here's a weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Yes, grow tall, reaching up. Exhale, bring the arms down to your side. Take a breath, shake things out. Yes, good. So some good movement and flow through the body. Let's take tree pose. It's a balance, of course, but it's a nice hip opener too. Let's start with mountain, balanced on 2 feet, then soft knees or slight bend in the knees. Some weight into the right foot, press into the floor. Yeah, nice and tall, breathing in. Exhale, connect to your center. Then we're ready to lift that left foot, maybe flexing the foot knee or thighs parallel to the floor, and just start to swing that door open right there. Angled fine, or even out to the side, whatever feels good, whatever feels right. Okay? And just placing the foot on the inside of the leg. Yeah, if you pull it up high to the inner thigh, you can just hold it there if you want or need to. Okay? Or maybe press into the inner thigh so you can hold it there. Or down low below the knee. When you're ready, both arms up, or if you're holding on to that foot, just send one arm up into the air. A couple of breaths here as you focus forward or slightly downward at something that's not moving. Nice deep breath. Let's keep the arms extended. We'll swing that left knee forward, lifting the knee with the flexed foot. Now we'll plant the foot into the ground. Arms return to your side, balancing on 2 feet. Walk that out if you need to. Yes. Back to our mountain pose, ready for the other side. Balanced on 2 feet, soft knees. Weight shift to left foot, press. Lengthening through the torso, inhale. Exhale, connect to center. Now we're ready. Floating that right foot up, flexed foot, thigh parallel. Swing it open. Angled's fine. Way out to the side there, only if that feels right. Okay, inner thigh. Hold on to the ankle if you'd like, or down below the knee, or use the floor. Toes on the floor, that's appropriate. So inhale when you're ready, good. Reaching into the air. Nice variations I see. So reaching straight up. They could be out like a V. You can bend the elbows, like the palms together. You can even bring hands to heart if you wanted to. Okay, focus forward. Breathing. There it is. Keep arms as they are. We'll swing that right knee forward, lifting knee, flexed foot, plant the foot down, and then bring your arms back down by your side. Walk it out. Wonderful. Okay. Let's continue our flow. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, chair pose. Just come to a natural stop. Breathing in, a little bit more extension through the torso and arms. Exhale, diving out of your seat. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthening. Halfway up, monkey pose. Exhale, fold and bend. Hands to the floor. Hop or step back, plank pose. Come down if you'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana. Modify that as you need to. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips nice and high. Don't forget, you can tiptoe forward a little bit. That way you'll ensure that the hips are high. Inhale, extend right leg up. Extend the bend and twist open. Just a quick one to open up the hip. Then unwind and step through. Setting up for warrior one. Take your time with this. Left heel to the floor. Balance, rising up. And your exhale opening to warrior two. Now, even though I'm giving faster instruction, doesn't mean you have to go any faster. Okay, side angle pose, reaching out. Rotate here. Reach high, reach low. Good extensions here. So that's the exact same thing. Bring your left hand down behind you, perhaps to low back. And just roll that left shoulder back once. Hold it back, open up through the heart. Good extension through the torso. Now we're going to breathe in, re-extend this left hand up into the air. Exhale, turn and fold. Hands to the floor, going back to down dog. So sweep the right foot back and up into the air, straight line. And right foot to the top of the mat. Let's go to a high lunge here. Be sure you found your center. All 10 toes are pointing forward. Finding the center, again, hinging from hips, rising up. So we're facing directly forward. Reaching up as if you're lifting up, but making sure you feel rooted into the earth. So there's a lunge here too. And we're getting to this left hip flexor just by being in this posture, especially have good distance between the feet. Let's hinge forward now, getting out of that back bend feel, and then shift weight into the right foot. So you can actually pick up the left foot, step forward, so you'll be in chair pose. Let's turn this right into a twist. So bring your hands to heart center. Right here, breathing in, some good extension through the spine. Exhale, a twist to your right. You can keep this mild, meaning you don't have to twist too far at all. What you do want to feel here is being sure your feet still feel solid on the ground. You might even just turn your head to look at your knees to be sure your knees are still aligned. That means, if they are, that means your hips are aligned, and that's what we would like to have in this posture. We're just twisting the upper body. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind, hands on thighs. We're just going to slide down into a forward fold. Nice release of head, neck, and shoulders. Take monkey pose here. Halfway lift. Back down we go. Plant the hands into the earth. Hop or step back, plank pose. Chaturanga Dandasana, or a variation of movement. Just moving with breath, whatever you need to do. Even pausing in a pose that feels good. Finishing in down dog eventually. Moving when you're ready. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. Just a quick bend and twist. Bending the knee, lifting the knee creates that spinal twist. Then unwinding, stepping through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Found right heel to the floor. Good grounding sensation. Light hands rising up. First warrior. Exhale, expand and open to warrior two. Make those adjustments with feet. Right away, side angle. Reach out. Rotate here. Reach high and low just to feel that nice expansion and opening through the front body. Take our mini bind by bringing the right hand down behind you or to right hip. One big circle of that shoulder. Hold it back. Heart opening and torso extension. Breathing in, re-extending right hand up into the air. Exhale, turn. Fold. Hands to the mat. Back to down dog. Sweep that left foot back and up into the air, straight line, going to high lunge. So left foot steps through. Hold, shifting the weight back, all 10 toes pointing forward, right heel lifted, rising up. Remember, reaching up, lunging low. The greater the distance between the feet and even deeper the lunge, one, you're creating a back bend, but just this back, or this back leg, the right leg, lengthening through the hip flexor. Hinging forward now. Let's start sending weight into the front foot. Little push, stepping through. Chair pose. Hands to heart. Here comes our twist. Breathing in. Exhale, draw belly in. Now a twist to your left, keeping it mild. Another way to keep it mild is to stay up high in the pose. Okay? Or you might be low enough and twisting enough to the left where your right elbow might just touch the left thigh, or even that. Hold on to the outside of the thigh. Yes, again, checking in from the ground up. Feet are firm on the floor, knees are aligned, hips are aligned, rotated torso. Breathe in, you've got it. Exhale, unwind, place hands on thighs. Push hands into the thighs just to assist yourself to stand tall. Reach up into the air. And exhale, arms to your side. Good. Let's get into our shoulders a little bit more here. So let's inhale, take the arms up into the sky. Exhale, bring the arms down. And as you bring them down, bring them behind you and just reach dynamically to the back corners of your mat. Active hands, reaching, straight arms, and then squeeze to center as if you're holding on to something between the hands. You can stay just like this or interlace your fingers if you'd like. Send the knuckles down towards your heels. Feel the shoulders drop. If you have free hands or folded hands, see if you can roll the shoulders back, squeezing to center, engaging those back muscles. Imagine you're squeezing a pencil. A couple more breaths here. And maybe as you breathe in deeply, filling up the upper region of the lungs, that nice stretch quality you might feel across the chest from shoulder to shoulder. Even a little lift of the chin just to make a little bit more space. Let's go ahead and release the fingers. Inhale, reach both arms up into the air and continue our flow. Exhale, swan dive, this time all the way down. Inhale, monkey pose, good extension there. Exhale, fold all the way down. Plant the hands, hop or step back, plank pose. Stay here. Nice strong straight line. Let's bring knees to the floor. Let's sit back into hero briefly. We're just going to take another seat. Swing the legs around to the front. I'm just going to sit with legs crossed. Whatever feels comfortable. Feel free to sit on the mat or up on a block. I like to sit on a block. And just crossing your legs. It can be easy pose. Okay, I usually sit in half lotus. That's just comfortable for me. Nice and tall here. So just a mild twist, okay? let's bring your right hand behind you. Just prop yourself up. Using that back hand, breathing in. Exhale, draw belly in and just freely turn your torso towards the right side of the room until it just naturally stops. Then take the left hand to hold on to right knee or thigh. Yes. So here it's a little bit more obvious as far as hips stay in line. They're not going anywhere because you're sitting. So it's just your upper body in that revolving position. So when we do chair pose, it's this kind of quality we're trying to mimic as well. Sturdy, strong hips in place while your torso is moving. Okay, breathing in, and exhale will unwind to face forward. Hold here for a moment. Yes. Other side when you're ready, so left hand behind you, prop yourself up, getting all that space. Breathing in. Exhale, draw belly in, just to bring support and strength to the body as you just turn on your own to the left until you just stop, and then to hold yourself in place. Yeah, then the left hand or your right hand can come to your left knee there. Staying tall, that back hand is helping you to remain tall. Breath is also helping you to remain tall. And the exhale, just a gentle squeeze or pulling in, belly towards spine. But you're in a rotation, so you might even feel this in the sides of the body, engaging the obliques, part of that abdominal system. And now ready to move. Breathing in first, and exhale will unwind. Yes, good. If you're sitting on a block, let's come off the block. We'll uncross the legs, send them forward here, adjust your seat. Let's come back to a boat pose. Just setting yourself up, nice lengthened spine, heels on the floor or heels lifted, either one. Very engaging. Exhaling, you can even breathe out through the mouth to ensure that air leaves the belly. You can feel everything contract there. All right, breathing in. Moving here, exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side, so you can just uncross the legs and just swing the feet back. And just make your way to plank pose. A shortcut to down dog or a full vinyasa to down dog. Okay, we'll just meet there. Let's add a few more twists to our sequence. Before we get to that, bring your knees to the floor for a second. Grab a block. Grab your block if you've got one. Just place it on the left side of your mat. And then return to downward facing dog. And I'll guide you through here. So an inhale to extend right leg into the air. Bend and twist. Okay, unwind and step through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Good. Left heel to the floor, rising up. There it is. Exhale, opening warrior two. Maybe a little wider in the stance. Side angle, reach out, tip it over. Same thing. Left hand initially reaches towards the ceiling just to open up, and then bring the left hand down behind you. It helps open the shoulder, chest. Okay. Roll that left shoulder back, opening up a bit more. Here we go. We're going to inhale, re-extend left hand up into the air. As we turn on the exhale, turn and bring that left block in onto the mat perhaps. Use that as a prop. Even rise up onto your tiptoes behind you so everything's square and nicely aligned. You can turn this block up as high as you'd like. Like an airplane wing, let's swing that right arm out to the right side. It'll start to automatically turn your torso towards the right until you just naturally stop. Okay, and so we have the extended airplane wing of that right arm, but now bring that right hand down behind you, maybe to low back, or even around the body towards left hip as you're able. And again, lifting yourself up on that block. I've got mine turned up to the highest mark here, which hips will probably, they will turn. Okay, they come to alignment because of that left heel lifting, but as we start to rotate, they'll probably turn too, so that's okay. Good question. Let's inhale, re-extend right hand up into the air. Turn, hands to the floor. If you got one block, let's just move that block over to the right side. Plant the hands. We're going to sweep that right foot back and up into the air. Another bend and twist. Let's take our first pigeon pose. So unwind here and bring the right knee to the ground behind the right wrist. Angle the leg to a place that feels best for you. That might even be a little bit more underneath you if that feels best. Set the left knee onto the mat. Use your left knee and toes to shift, to find center, just like we do with those lunging postures. But also this pose gets us kind of deep into sensation. Breathe in to extend the spine. Exhale, crawl forward. Now you might still be up on your hands. You might be able to come down onto the elbows, and that's fine just like that. You can go even lower if it feels okay. A couple things you could do to support your head. You can stack your fists and just rest your forehead on your fists, or you just bring in that block that's nearby. So I like to think of pigeon pose as a collapsed lunge, because we've done those standing lunging positions, and now we're kind of lying down in a lunge. So it's still affecting the legs. So just like a high lunge, that left leg behind us there is getting into the left hip flexor, with the right leg that's bent out in front of us, getting into inner thigh and the outer leg as well. Okay, staying here, we're just going to see if we can create a little bit more space. Just do your best with this. With the left knee and toes, just see if you can just kind of scoot that left leg back. It may not move at all. Okay, and just see if you can just go back a little further. And we're just going to lift the head if it's on the floor, and then just try to extend the spine. Just feel like you're trying to come forward. So we're moving in these opposite directions. It may not be very much, but you've actually deepened the posture. You might even have created more sensation. Take 2 more breaths. After the second breath, we're going to slowly make our way back up onto the hands. Once you're here, sit off to your right side, way off to the right. Might even have to bring the hands over to the right, because we're going to bring the left leg around to the front. Come to cobbler's pose, bound angle, soles of the feet touch. You can draw the heels in really close if that feels good feels okay on the knees. If that doesn't feel good on the knees, just send the feet forward. So you have more of a right angle in the legs here, and just hold on to your shins. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, start to lead with your heart and chin forward. Okay, just going into a bit of a forward fold. You can work with an extended spine. You can even lower your chin and round your back. Just getting some flexion and stretch through the spine, down the back if that feels good. Just a few breaths here. Three more breaths. Cobbler's pose or bound angle pose is the formal name. Gets into our inner legs a bit. Okay, if the back is rounded, just lift your chin just a little to help re-extend the spine, then hinge your way back up to seated. Nice and tall here. Keep leaning back. Bring the knees together, going back to boat pose, lifting the feet. Holding onto the legs, good extension of the spine. Inhale here, and exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. We're going to add one more posture here. Bring the knees to the floor. Let's do a spinal twist. So just knees on the floor. Let's set this up. You're going to step your left hand forward just a little bit. Then off to the left side a little bit. Might even go off the mat a little there too. And then turn your left palm inward just a little so your middle finger moves inward. So maybe it was originally pointing towards the 12 on a clock. Now it's pointing towards the 1 on a clock. Put weight into that left hand. Pick up your right arm, airplane wing out to the right side, and we're going to twist. So this right arm will come underneath or behind the left arm, if you can, come all the way down to the shoulder. If not, that's okay. So we're getting this twist. And even putting some weight, a little bit of pressure on that right shoulder. The left hand and arm, they're just in place so when you're ready to get out, you can easily get out of the posture. Activate the hips a little bit. Feel like you're trying to lift the hips or send them directly back to the wall behind you. Three more breaths. That left hand, if it's at a right angle, just push into the floor, lift your body. So you can unthread this needle, maybe take that wing out to the right side, and then plant both hands underneath the shoulders. Take cat and cow. Inhale, lift head and heart, little arch of the back, round it all out. Maybe a couple more times like that. Just getting out of that twist. Get ready for the sequence on the other side. You might even step the hands forward a little bit, then tuck your toes. With an exhale, just lift the knees and hips, downward facing dog. Take advantage of the situation to extend the spine right there. Other side, so inhale, extend left leg into the air, bend and twist open. Good, let's unwind it, step through. Left foot to the top of the mat, back to our basic flow to begin. Right heel to the floor, rooted, balanced, rise up, yes. Exhale, opening, warrior two. There it is. Good, our side angle pose. Rotate the body here, reaching high, reaching low. Good extension to that right arm, and then bring the right hand down behind you to low back. One circle to hold that shoulder back, open up through the chest. So here comes our twist. We're going to breathe in, reach up into the air. Exhale, turn, bring the right hand to the floor or block. Maybe the block's on that side. Rise up onto your tiptoes. This will align the hips right here. But when we get into that rotation, yeah, the hips will probably turn and move. That's okay. Airplane wing with the left arm and start to turn your torso in that direction. There you go. And then the mini bind, bringing the left hand down behind you, staying in the twist, either to the low back or around the body towards the right hip. Still trying to roll that left shoulder back and open. Long torso, you're all there. Crown leading you forward. Well done. Okay, let's release, re-extend the left hand up into the air. Turn, let's bring the hands to the floor. Take that block over to the left side again. Plant the hands. Let's slide that left foot back and up into the air. Bend and twist. Pigeon. So let's unwind. Send this left knee gently down to the floor behind the left wrist. Angled leg. Use padding. Use any other props you might need to help support your body. Even a block, because you don't have to go too deep into the pose, especially if you don't feel like you're getting close to the floor at all. Maybe use that block that's on that left side and just tuck it underneath like it was a little park bench. Extend the spine through with an inhale. Exhale, crawl forward. Again, you might still be up on your hands. If it feels okay, maybe you can come down to your elbows or lower still if it feels okay. Settling in, that might mean some adjustments with the body. But as best as you can, maybe just holding in place, staying in stillness, letting the body do its thing. But of course, it is okay to move if you need to move. If you are in stillness mostly, maybe you're just feeling the movement of the breath. And as we did earlier, just finding more space, just crawl the right leg back or just reach it back a little bit more. Lifting your head and torso and try to come forward a bit. Notice any changes, they might be subtle. Okay? And then just come back down. If you lifted your head and extended, just bring it back down. bit more space, and breathe into those spaces. Good. All right, 2 more breaths. Taking your time to move and maybe just rising back up onto your hands. We'll sit off to the left side, enough so that you can swing the right leg around. Going back to our cobbler's pose, also a nice way of realigning the body. Rather than going forward, we're going to take the hands behind us here. Maybe the fingers are pointing to the back of the room. But push the palms down into the mat with the intention of lifting your torso. And with the arms behind us, maybe get the shoulders to roll back, tip the chin up, and it puts you in a kind of a mild back bend. With the hands pressing into the floor with the lifted torso, it makes more space in the waistline and maybe opens the hips, so your knees might drop open a bit more. 2 more breaths. And like any other back bend, try to breathe in to the top of the lungs, right up to the collarbones. You can lower your chin, adjust your hands so you can lean back, going back to boat, so knees come together, adjust the feet here, and then lift into your boat pose. Breathing in, and the exhale, cross legs, hands in front, upper step back plank pose, hold. And then bring the knees to the floor. We have our spinal twist to do on the other side. So the same setup, so step the right hand forward a little bit, step it out to the right side a bit, and then turn the right palm in so your middle finger's pointing towards the 11 or a 10 on the clock. Left arm extends out to the side, airplane wing. Exhale, thread the needle. Right elbow will bend, making a little doorway. So you can come all the way down as you're able. Left shoulder to the floor. So it does put a little pressure on that shoulder, but also be thinking about the spinal rotation, the twist that's happening. To help with that is to activate the hips. Feel like you're moving the hips to the back of the room. What that does is just keeps the torso long while the spine is in rotation. Two more breaths. If the right arm is at a right angle, press that palm into the floor, lift, so you can unthread the needle, left arm out to the left side, airplane wing, left hand to the floor. Little tabletop, cat and cow. Breathe in. It's cow, exhale into cat, and a couple more times. That undulation through the spine, rocking of the pelvis. We'll step the hands forward here. Tuck your toes, and with an exhale, lift the knees and hips, return to a downward facing dog. Okay, let's inhale, extend right leg into the air, bend and twist. Going right away back into pigeon. So right knee to the floor behind right wrist, angled leg. Left knee comes to the floor, crawl it back. Finding your center, finding the sensation that you want. Step the hands forward a little bit, but stay lifted, stay upright rather than coming all the way down. Stay upright here, but your hands are out front, like this. Okay. Okay, the right hand's going to stay here, but the left arm, another threading the needle. You're going to thread the needle, left arm through. And as you're able, come all the way down to the shoulder. You'll kind of just fall onto the shoulder, okay? If that's too far for this pose, come up onto your forearm like this. You're up on your elbow, okay? But if you can make it down to the shoulder, go there. Now we're taking the right arm out and up into the air, maybe reaching towards the ceiling. So you're kind of twisting towards the right side of the room. And bring the right hand down behind you to low back or left hip. Rolling that right shoulder back. And trying to keep this extension, your left foot and leg reaching to the back of the room. Your crown is trying to lead you forward, keeping that length through the torso as you've created the rotation. Let's get out of this bind. Re-extend right hand up into the air. Let's bring the right hand to the floor. Press into the floor to lift, unthread. Maybe you take the left arm out to the left side. Down to the floor in front. Here, sit off to the right. Again, swinging the legs around to the front. Just finding your center, but right away into boat pose. Moving right away. These are just transitions. Breathing in. Exhale, cross, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Feel free to throw in Chaturanga Dandasana here. With an up dog. And your downward facing dog. Okay, same thing for the other side. So inhale, extend left leg into the air, bend and twist. Pigeon pose, left knee to the ground, angled leg, right knee, helps crawls back. Hands on the floor so you're still propped up. Settle yourself in. Alrighty, threading the needle. So right arm will thread through. You can just come down to the forearm and just stay propped up on the elbow and still be in a slight rotation. If you're able, all the way through and bring the shoulder right down to the floor. You'll kind of just plop right there on the shoulder. Then, yes, extend this left arm up into the air. It kind of opens you up, yes, towards the left side of the room. Left hand down behind you to low back or right hip. Mindful of how this feels. If it doesn't feel good, okay, this is pretty dynamic. Okay, you can certainly soften it up or even come out of the posture. Trying to extend. That right leg is reaching to the back of the room. Crown is trying to lead you forward. Long torso in the rotation. Here we go. Let's take this left hand back up into the air. Left palm to the floor. Press. Lift. Okay, unthread. Reach out with the right arm. And right hand to the ground. Sit off to the left side. Swing it around. Right leg come around to the front. Still finding the center of your mat, but this time roll down onto your back. Draw knees into chest. Any movement. We'll finish with one last twist, just a spinal twist. Let's take both knees down to the left side while your right arm extends to the right. Settle in. Just several breaths. Perhaps 2 more breaths on this first side. When you're complete, return to center. You might even pause in center just for that realignment. And then carefully take knees to the other side. Extending the arm outward. Now that's even an optional movement, to extend that arm out to the opposite side. If that feels like it's too much, that arm can just rest down by your side. Two more breaths. And again, when you're complete, carefully making your way back to center. And once you're here, just decide what you would like to do next. There's a few more minutes left in the practice. You're welcome to move right into Shavasana, moving into this resting posture to complete. Or if there's any other movements, like a hip opener, like Happy Baby Pose, or an inverted pose, like shoulder stand, that you want to input here, feel free. So just kind of do another quick check-in of your body. Listen for what it needs. Respond appropriately. Take the time. And also give yourself that resting time. When you've made your way to your restorative position, like Shavasana, make sure your body feels settled and relaxed. Muscles have disengaged. You can just focus on the steadiness of the breath. Now take 5 slow, deep breaths. And as you're breathing in and out, feel movement return to your body. After your 5th breath, take your time and roll onto either side of your body. Briefly here in a nurturing pose. Good. And from here, slowly rising to a seated position. Once you're seated, your hands can remain in your lap or bring hands to heart center. Just take one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.